Okay, so for this lesson, 1.5, the problems are found on page 32 and 33, and we're going to do 1 through 35, all of them. Remember, you can check the answers in the back of the book for the odd ones, but this video is going to go through all 35 questions. Well, for the first few here, the first 7, number 1, it says writing. What can you tell about two integers when their quotient is positive, negative, and 0? Well, when their quotient is positive, you can tell that they have the same sign. When their quotient is negative, you can tell that the two integers have different signs. And when the quotient is 0, you can tell that the dividend is 0. That means the number you're dividing is 0. You cannot divide by 0. But you can divide 0 by another number. So if you're dividing 0 by another number, you will get 0. For vocabulary, a quotient is undefined. What does this mean? That means the divisor was 0. If you're looking at a fraction in this, if you're looking at a division problem like a fraction like this, the bottom number can never be 0 because that's what you're dividing by. You can never divide by 0, or you get an answer of undefined. So for number 2, a quotient is undefined. What does this mean? It means the divisor is 0. Write two integers whose quotient is negative. There's an infinite number of answers here, but we'll just say negative 4 divided by 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 would be negative 2, so the quotient would be negative. Which one doesn't belong? Well, 10 divided by negative 5, that's going to be negative 2. Negative 10 divided by 5, that's going to be negative 2. Negative on the outside means we do this in parentheses first. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Then we apply the negative. That'll also be negative 2. Here's the only one that's different. Negative 10 divided by negative 5, that'll be positive 2. So there's the one that doesn't belong. And then finally, on these last 3, tell whether the quotient is positive or negative without actually dividing. Different signs, so it's going to be negative. Same sign, it's going to be positive. Different sign, it's going to be negative. Well, those were easy. Well, these problems should have gone rather quickly. 4 divided by negative 2, so we just look at 4 divided by 2 is 2. Different signs, so it's negative. 21 divided by negative 7, so 21 divided by 7 is 3. Different signs, so it's negative. Negative 20 divided by 4. Different signs, so it's going to be negative 5. Negative 18 divided by negative 3. Same signs, so it's a positive 6. Number 12, negative 14 divided by 7. Negative 2. Why is it negative? Because I have different signs here. Here I have 0 divided by 6. It's okay to have 0 on the top of a fraction. 0 divided by 6 is 0. Negative 15 divided by negative 5. So same sign, so my answer is positive. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. 54 divided by 9 is 6. But here I have a positive and a negative. Different signs gives me a negative answer. Number 16, negative 33 divided by 11. Well, 33 divided by 11 is 3, and I have different signs. So it's negative. Negative 49 divided by negative 7. Same sign, so it's positive 7. 0 divided by negative 2. I can divide 0 by a number, but my answer will be 0. 60 divided by negative 6. Well, 60 divided by 6 is 10, and one of each makes this a negative. 56 divided by 14 is 4, but I have one of each here, negative 56, positive 14. That means my answer is going to be negative. For number 21, 18 divided by 0, I cannot divide by 0. 0 cannot be in the denominator here. This is undefined. Or if you try it on a calculator, it might say error. Number 22, 65 divided by negative 5. Well, 65 divided by 5 is 13. But I have a positive and a negative, so my answer is negative 13. And then last one here, negative 84 divided by negative 7. 84 divided by 7 is 12, and I have same sign. So my answer is positive 12. Well, the problem with number 24, negative 63 divided by negative 9 equals negative 7, because they were the same sign, it is 7, but it's a positive 7. Same sign positive when we're dividing. Over here, 0 divided by negative 5 equals negative 5. No, 0 divided by anything is going to equal 0. Okay, so they must have been mixing up a rule. 0 divided by negative 5 should have been 0. For number 26, an alligator population in a nature preserve in the Everglades decreased by 60 alligators over 5 years. What is the mean yearly change in the alligator population? So we would, to find the mean, remember that's the average, you take the total and divide by how many there were. Well, here they told us the total is 60. So we divide negative 60 by 5. So 5 years added up to negative 60. So we'll take the negative 60, divide by 5, and you would get negative 12. So what's the mean yearly change in the alligator population? Negative 12 alligators. For number 27, you read 105 pages of a novel over 7 days. What is the mean number of pages you read in a day? Same kind of problem. They already gave you the total. And how many numbers did you add up to get 105? 7 numbers, because it took you 7 days. So 105 divided by 7 will give you 15, or 15 pages per day. And then for these last ones, x equals 10, y equals negative 2, and z equals negative 5. So we substitute in, remember, x divided by y becomes 10 divided by negative 2. Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and because I have different signs, my answer is going to be negative 5. For number 29, I substitute in, so on the top of the vinculum, I have 10 and then y squared, or y times y. In this case, y is negative 2, so I put in negative 2, negative 2. On the bottom, z was negative 5, so I put in a negative 5. Remember, I simplify the top first. Well, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, so now I have 10 times 4 over negative 5. 10 times 4 is 40 over negative 5. And 40 divided by 5 equals 8. But because one's positive and one's negative, it's going to be negative 8. Number 30. It's the absolute value of x, which was 10, times z, which was negative 5, all over negative y. Well, y is negative 2, so now I have a negative 2. Well, that looks pretty weird. Remember that when you have a negative and a negative right next to each other, we make that a big plus, and this is no exception. So let's look at the top. 10 times negative 5 will be negative 50 over negative 2. I make that a big plus, positive 2. Negative 50 divided by positive 2 is going to equal negative 25. But don't forget, we've been writing these absolute value signs all along. Negative 25, the absolute value of negative 25 is just positive 25. Finally, substituting in here, negative x squared, so negative 10 squared, not in parentheses, because x that they're talking about is just 10, so it's just touching the 10, plus 6z means 6 times z, and 6 times z becomes 6 times negative 5, because z is negative 5, all over y, which was negative 2. All right, well, we'll square this first, which makes this negative 100 plus, we multiply this to get negative 30 all over negative 2. And I'll continue this down over here. Negative 100 plus negative 30 is negative 130 all over negative 2. Same sign, so my answer is positive 65. Well, the directions for 32 and 33 were find the mean of the integers. Remember, for mean, we add them all up and divide by how many there are. So we'll add all of these up. I'll put the positives together. 3 and 13 is 16 plus 11 is 27. So we have 27 plus, and then I'll put the negatives together, negative 10, and negative 2 is negative 12. Now I can add these, 27 plus negative 12, different sign, so subtract. And I get 15. Well, I'm not all done. Now I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I take that 15, the total, and I divide by how many there were, 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times. We knew that. The mean for number 32 is 3. For number 33, same kind of problem. We'll add all these together first and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's, here's some negatives. We'll put the 3 negatives together. Negative 26 and negative 10, same sign, add and keep, so that'll be negative 36. And then add another negative 16 will give us negative 52. So I have negative 52 plus, for my positives, 39 and 31 would be 70, plus 12 would be 82. Now I add these two, my negatives and my positives, add those together, different signs, so I subtract and I get 30. And I keep it positive because I add a bigger positive absolute value. Well, remember, I do still have to divide by 6. 30 divided by 6 equals 5. The mean of that set is 5. For number 34, I'm just supposed to evaluate. And going left to right, oh, division comes before subtraction and addition, so 14 divided by 2, or I would look at this as negative 14 divided by a positive 2. So now I have negative 8, negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7 plus 5. Well, now I have a negative 8, a negative 7, and a positive 5. Negative 8 and negative 7 gives me negative 15 plus 5. Different sign, so I subtract, and I get 10, and I keep it negative because the absolute value of the negative was a larger number. Last problem, 24 divided by negative 4 plus negative 2 times negative 5. We do our multiplication and division from left to right first. 24 divided by negative 4 is negative 6. Different sign, negative, plus negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. Same sign, positive. Negative 6 plus 10, different sign, so I subtract and get 4, and I keep it positive because the 10 has a larger absolute value than the negative 6. So positive 4. Awesome. Now you can go do journal page 22. Have a great night.
See you.